Hello, welcome back to the podcast. I am grateful to be here with you today. I love recording. I love that when this comes out, it'll be March. It will be March. What in the world? Personally, I don't know. I love the things that winter has to offer, but there is some excitement when March comes around, knowing that Aries season is coming, the beginning of the zodiac wheel. I feel like we've just had a lot of opportunities for new beginnings lately, which has been much needed. And it's a collective year one. Numerologically speaking, is that a word? Oh, I hate when I say that. But lots of fresh starts. We had the lunar Chinese New Year on February 17th. There were a lot of orb activities in my office today. Side note. And entering the year of the horse, shedding things. I feel like this is the last little stint to really step into the new beginning with Aries season coming on March 20th. And it's like the last little, ooh, I'm getting like chills. The last little time frame. Not that like if you don't do it now, it won't ever happen, but really ask yourself, what is not in alignment for me right now? Or if you're feeling unsure, not feeling clarity, ask your higher self, ask God's source, ask your spirit guide team, show me what is not in alignment for me today, over the next few days, XYZ, however you want it to come about. Ask for a specific sign if you were, in between questions in any area of your life that could help. It could also lead you to, was that it? Like at the end of the day, we just have to trust ourselves and trust our bodies. And if you are anything like me, you are probably feeling a little tired lately. I have felt so tired. And I think like energetically, our bodies are just like preparing us for this new energy. So it's like, the animals, nature, things hibernate, they rest in the winter. I don't know if it's because like it's eclipse season too, and there's just like all kinds of shit moving around with the planets. Not blaming them, just I think that's a contributing factor, is we're just like integrating things, and you need to be respectful of your body when you are integrating things. Like, no shit, the other night I was sitting on the couch with the kids, and it was like right after dinner, and we were all just sitting there, and I just like fell asleep. And I don't remember being like, it's not like when I come home, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so tired. It was so random. And I just kind of fell asleep for a minute. And then it was like, oh my, like I'm tired. Like there have been nights where I'm going to bed at like 8:39, as soon as I get my daughter to sleep, it's like, okay, I'm ready to go to sleep too. And I know it's just, all these new energies and things and upgrades and activations and all of that has to integrate into your physical 3D body. So sometimes that takes time, and that's okay. Just a friendly reminder to be respectful of your body and be aware and be okay. I am feeling tired. So like resting, not burning yourself out because you think you have to, or whatever it may be. Anyways, I wanted to talk today about something that's been on my mind lately. So February has been a month of lots of like downloads and ideas for me in regards to what I want to share, what I want to help other women with. Like, what kind, it's like, what are my gifts and how can I be sharing those with others? Because not sharing them is definitely a disservice to the collective. Like, I'm here. We're all here to share specific gifts. And I may have talked about this before, but as a line two, it can be like in your human design profile, it can be so hard for us to see our gifts because things come so easily to us, and something we don't even think about. Somebody's like, oh my gosh, like, like, how did you do that? Or you could teach that, or blah, blah, blah. And I think I'm figuring those things out for myself. I think I am. There's been so much integration of the things that like I actually want to share and do, which has been really helpful as well. But something I want to talk about today is one of the biggest things and kind of one of the hardest things about my spiritual awakening, or like my self growth, evolution, whatever you want to call it. Or I like to even look at it as it is the time where I'm just like deconditioning and pulling back layers and finding myself, like really the time where you're coming back into who you authentically and truly are is very interesting. It's like that 3D to 4D to 5D to all of those like changes in frequency and learning things and becoming aware and taking away things that aren't really your own, and like stories you've been carrying around for years, decades, that you don't need to be carrying around anymore, and things that you cleared and let go of. And it's so much energy work and shadow work, and just honestly being aware of how you are treating yourself. And like at the end of the day, like I realized it all came down to me. It's not a matter of what anyone else in your life is doing. Shit's gonna happen, and it's how you react to it. It's how you look at it moving forward, and not getting stuck in a poor me, like, why is this happening to me sort of mentality, and just like taking your power back. And I still haven't got to the point of this podcast. Oh my gosh, you guys. Maybe someday I'll do notes. So my thoughts are all in here, you guys. And I can see things. I don't write stuff down half the time because I'm just like, okay, it's going to come out when it needs to come out. And boy, like I said, lots of words today. You must like my message. Well, it kind of helps because, okay, lots of people, community members, souls. Okay. So the biggest thing that was, I think, hard for me in my spiritual awakening, self growth journey was it was so lonely. So lonely. Especially being in the middle of Iowa, middle of the Midwest. Things like happen here. Like, I feel as if trends or things that other people may be considering normal, Midwest is sometimes late to the party sometimes. Maybe it's not as bad as before the internet and everything, but anyways, like different views and different, I don't know, ideals and things like that are, there's a lot of the same old here, I guess, is what I want to say. Question? Sure. And so, reading all these things, listening to all these podcasts, connecting with other women across the country. And I'm like, well, shit. Like there's definitely more out there. There's 100% more out there. I have been putting myself in a box that society wanted me in, or my family or my friends or whoever. Like I just like molded myself into this person like I didn't even recognize anymore. And I'm like, okay. So what do I do now? I believe I did only like a couple one-on-one mentorships. I've done so many different things. I just kind of dove in head first. My first actual program I did was a group thing, and I don't remember if it was like 3 or 4 months or whatever. But I was like, okay, I like this. This is, some more like-minded people, but also people that still were like, I felt like not really the same as me. So it's like, I'm trying to remember when I got really like deep into the spiritual stuff, or how that happened. Because it started, like you start with the self growth. Actually, I was just reading. Had my daughter, wanted to make myself into a better version of myself. And so reading these different books and coming across podcasts on the internet. Oh, I figured it out. Podcasts were a big thing for me. That is kind of half the reason that I have my own now too, because it's like I want to share these experiences and stories so that, somebody's going to find me. And what I did is I binge listened to this lady's podcast, and I listened to like all of her episodes, and it was almost like over her spiritual awakening. So I feel as if my podcast is very similar in that manner, since my podcast started in 2023, and that was after I had my son. He was like a couple months old, and that was kind of the same time frame where I might have been listening to her stuff in 22. Anyways, yes, her stuff was in 22. So, but like then my rabbit hole went down and down and down. Like it started with manifestation, and then it's like, oh, well, this is probably not the only life you've ever had. Not probably, it is not the only life you've had. And then talking about energetics and your oversoul and quantum things, and like going, oh my gosh, the rabbit hole is vast, but it's glorious. And then finding different people. So one of my mentors and friend that I have to this day, she was on the podcast of that lady that I binged. She was a guest on her podcast, and I started following her. So interested in her stuff. She opened up the Akashic records for me, like literally, and in a sense, I had a reading done with her, and then I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. Had a certification done, and yeah, that's when we started getting really deep into things. And then so before my certification was still in that time frame of like, I am so lonely. I didn't have anyone to talk about this stuff to. And it's like, you have like your spouse or like your really close friends that you can like kind of talk about some things. But as soon as you get a little too deep, they either A, make fun of you, or just like, I don't know, like ignore it, or just keep on with the conversation elsewhere. So, oh, that was hard. And, but I kind of kept at it because I knew at the end of the day that one, I was never actually alone. And two, I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna just like put myself out there, like go and do these things and sign up for some things that interest me, like that truly interest me and I want to do and go to places. And some things started to happen where, after that Akashic Records certification, I found one of my very best friends to this day through that. She, um, she and I had the chance to meet last year too in person, which was so great. And she is someone that I can literally say anything to, and like she gets it. She gets it. And I have another good friend from that same certification, that the three of us, took it and got certified, and we still, chat till this day. And I've just met, and since then it's like it's kind of unfolded into what do I want to say? Like a domino effect. I could picture the dominoes, couldn't think what they're called. Into this domino effect where then it's like, oh, I almost started to attract, like I was becoming more confident in who I really was and what I actually enjoyed. And then I was attracting more of these women into my life that had the same interest. And that became like a really cool thing for me and just opened so many doors and like opportunities. I think I did count. I've had more than a handful of like guests on the podcast, and some of those girls like I continue to talk to, or I continue to, see what they're up to on Instagram. And um it's just it's the best. It is the best to finally find those people, because then that's kind of transferred into real life for me too. Now I haven't, it's a handful of people in my actual real life that I could go off into the deep end with and talk about all these things, um, just many different topics, and they're not going to bat their eye at me. Um, and some of these friendships have just been formed over the last year, like these incredible women that I'm like, yes, I finally have some people in real life. And not that, not to at all. I am not knocking any of the people in my actual real life, my friends and family. I love you all so much, obviously. But I kind of leave the door, like, if they want to ask me a question, that's cool. But I have figured out, and like you can navigate this in your own life as well. Like you kind of figure out where to um start the conversation, or where to like how deep you want to get into the conversation. And some people are just like not going to get it, and that's cool. This is me, manifestor me, initiating the fact that my friends and family are more than welcome to ask me these things. But I don't really make it a point. I'll bring it up sometimes. And I think the ones I am closest with, my immediate family and really good friends and stuff like that, they just already know. They know. They get it. They love me for me. And I appreciate that. Of course. I know for those people it might be hard to hear that, like I felt so lonely over that time. And it's not just like I was like feeling lonely all the time, but there was just like this element of my life, like this part of me that just wasn't in alignment with, some of the relationships I had. So pivot and like changing some of that stuff up allowed me to open doors to like these new, more aligned friendships in my life, which have been really great. And like, don't ever be afraid to like lose any friendships or anything. I think at the end of the day, yeah, like don't ever just, I think ghosting someone is just like icky. So icky. You are going to find as you, evolve, as your frequency becomes higher, you are going to find your soul tribe, like your soul family, who you are able to maybe have those deep conversations with, or talk about different things or whatever. And I'm not saying every single person from your life is going to disappear if you have a spiritual awakening, not at all. But some relationships might, and that's okay, because like every relationship plays a part in your own evolution. Like it makes more sense when you're looking back on it, but at the time, yes, it can be very hard. But speaking from experience, actually finding, your community and your people. And I know that there will be, oh my gosh, so many more people I meet down the road and throughout life. And I would have never gone down that path, if I didn't start with myself and start on my own little evolution. And yeah, what does light you up? What are you passionate about? Like, what are those things for you? Like, it's so important to really now more than ever to start following those things. Follow the breadcrumbs. Like I said in the beginning of this episode, really sit and think about like what's not in alignment for you anymore. Or if you need to ask your higher self, God source, your spirit guide team, which are all still, kind of an extension of yourself in a way anyway, because at the end of the day, you want those answers to be coming from you. You don't want those answers to be coming from somebody else, even if it is, someone else maybe giving you a reading or something. I think we still need to have discernment with what our soul actually wants. I don't know. It leads me into my next point, rounding out the episode. That community, I don't know, just kind of helps you build trust in yourself too, because you're like, okay, there's these other women out there. Like for me, starting a podcast, starting a business, like there's no one in my actual real life that is doing this stuff, or that, not that I know of, that is aspiring to be like a solopreneur. That's why I say that word, right? Like building their own business. And like at the end of the day, I just want, I want that abundance in my life and love and the peace, like peace, love, abundance. That sounds real nice to me. And just having those things and sharing my gifts, serving the collective, giving women the opportunity to start trusting themselves. Because that's the biggest thing. That is the biggest freaking thing. That's been the biggest thing for me in the past 5 years too, is actually trusting to what, like, why am I thinking that? Or why am I feeling that? Like, is that right? Is that right? Right for who? Like, who are you listening to? Okay. Thank you for listening to my ramble. I love community. I have loved all of the things I've learned over the past few years. And that is why, dun, 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 I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. I am going to be offering more of a group learning, just like, oh, I almost said what it's called. I don't want to say that yet. It's going to be an activation. It's going to be an integration. It's going to be over 10 weeks. And everything that is potent, that has been the most important over the last 5 years for me, I have notes and notes of what I want to be teaching. I've got an outline already of every week, and I wanted to make it a community aspect, because what better way to like go into this like this self like finding yourself and like peeling those layers and really trusting in yourself. Like, what better way to do that alongside other women that are thinking the exact same thing as you, and like having those conversations to integrate that into actual real life, especially for the moms out there. Like, I have done this shit with 2 little kids, and it is not easy, but it is doable. Like, I know you can do it. I know you can grow and evolve, and I know you can find your peace at the end of the day. Like, that's totally possible. So I'm very excited. I'm like getting like all passionate, all fiery. I'm very excited about it. And yes, we'll be sharing more details on my Instagram and on my email list. Ideally, I would like to start it with Aries season. I know that starts on a Friday, so honestly, if we could get started on the 23rd, that would be stellar. And then what? That'd be like 10 weeks before summer, and you are totally a girl. Oh, I love it. Okay. So thank you. Be on the lookout. If you listen to this and are intrigued at all, please message me. I will be sure to get you details as soon as I have them publicly available. But thank you, as always, for listening to this episode. And no matter what phase of your spiritual awakening you're going through, I see you. I know that if it's a little rough right now and maybe you are feeling lonely, just putting yourself out there into groups or places that light up your soul and that you find that you're passionate about, and those aligned relationships are going to come into your life from it. I promise you that. So have a rest of your day. Have a magical rest of your day, and we will talk very soon.